Hi. This is an explanation of an intentional focusing exercise that I've provided on a companion video. It's a variation of an exercise I've used with clients suffering from stress, anxiety, phobia, and other emotional problems. But it can also stand on its own for the purposes of taking a short break to refocus your energy. I'm offering this because some people have found it helpful to use this when feeling mildly anxious or stressed. The exercise is similar to a host of other meditation and relaxation approaches, but the aim of this exercise is just to focus your attention on something intentionally and leave other thoughts and feelings in the background. In this exercise, you do not try to relax or feel better. You want to stay aware, and in that awareness, intentionally focus your attention. So what's the significance of this? Let me use mild anxiety as a way to illustrate how this can work. When we get into worrying, for example, our attention tends to focus on worrying thoughts and feelings. Each time we have a worry thought, it increases the anxious feeling. If we stopped having the thoughts or images that stimulate the anxiety would gradually subside. In this exercise, you focus on the sensation of your breath going in and out, and then systematically become aware of your body. The anxiety and worrisome thoughts continue, but you intentionally move your attention to the sensation of your breathing and the awareness of your body. It's not that important what you focus on, really. Focusing on any one thing would be just fine. I use focusing on the breath because we're always breathing, and therefore focusing on your breathing is always available to you. Focusing on your breath would really be sufficient, but most people find it hard to do this. For that reason, I've added the technique of systematically focusing on your body, because it adds an activity that can help prevent you from daydreaming or even dozing. While you're doing this, unrelated thoughts and feelings will come up. That's okay. In fact, that's where you get to practice. You simply move your attention away from those feelings and thoughts and refocus on your breathing. For example, the anxiety might be very annoying, but despite that, you allow that to be the way it is and just bring your attention back to your breath. While doing this exercise, it can be helpful to think of little phrases to help reorient you to your task. When you notice yourself beginning to worry again, for example, you can say to yourself, "Oh, I'm worrying again. Let me just go back to watching my breath go in and out." Or you might think, "Oh, there goes my mind wandering off again. I'm just going to watch my breath." It's also good to have set aside a time and a space where you won't be interrupted, because then you can say to yourself, "I don't need to think of anything else right now other than this exercise. Other concerns can wait a few minutes." Do not do this exercise if it makes you feel worse in any way. There's some degree of work that needs to be done in order to learn to focus your attention. That amount of work is okay. But there's no reason to do this if it brings up bad thoughts or feelings or makes you feel worse in any way. If you don't like the video, turn it off and forget about it. It's not for everyone. If you do find this exercise helpful, you can practice it in order to sharpen your skills at focusing. After you begin to get familiar with it, there's actually some ways you can use it in everyday situations. For example, I all too frequently find myself rushing around the supermarket to get some items to bring to a meeting that I'm already late for. I rush around, I get the items, I come to the checkout, and there's a line, and I have to wait. Sometimes I'm standing there, feeling impatient, and thinking about how late I'm going to be. But this does nothing to make the line move any faster, and only makes me feel bad. All I really need to do is stand there and wait my turn. So when I remember to do it, I take time to notice my breathing. I notice the people standing in line just like me. I notice the building. I notice the things in the store for sale. And I notice that I'm basically okay. I let go on focusing on needing to make the line move faster. Instead, I think something like, the line is moving, and eventually I'm going to get through it. There's plenty of time to focus on things that make me feel miserable after I get through the checkout. The exercise video begins without introduction. It assumes you're ready to start the exercise as soon as the tape begins. In order to be prepared to do this, you should seat yourself comfortably in a chair. You should be free of distractions as much as possible, and you should have no responsibilities during this short period of time. The stove should be off, for example. You also want to be seated in such a way that you will not fall over if you doze off. People laugh when I say that, but you don't want to be focusing any attention on keeping yourself upright while you're learning this new skill. If your room is arranged in such a way that you need to turn the video on first and then sit down, that's okay. Just start the tape and sit down and pick up the video wherever it is. There's plenty of time to do the exercise effectively. It probably won't be long until you can do the exercise without the aid of the video anyway.